Today is June 27th. It's the 178th day of the year, and this is the On This Day podcast. Passing away on this day in 1829, James Smithson. Smithson is an English chemist and mineralogist who was born an illegitimate child in Paris, France, passes away in Genoa, Italy, and bequeaths his entire fortune to the United States, a country he's never visited, for the express purpose of founding an educational institution in Washington, D.C., to be named the Smithsonian Institution. He is born in Paris in the year 1765, the illegitimate son of Hugh Smithson, who after his marriage takes the name Hugh Percy, the first Duke of Northumberland, and of Elizabeth Hungerford Kate Macy. Hungerford is a wealthy widow, the cousin of the Duke's wife. It's an illicit affair of consequence, so she hides herself in Paris during her pregnancy and for the birth of her son, who is named Jacques-Louis Macy, or James Louis Macy. After the death of both of his parents, he changes his name to James Smithson, taking his father's name from before his marriage, and he becomes a British citizen. Smithson studies the new science of chemistry at Pembroke College, Oxford. He is a bright talent in the field, and the Royal Society of London accepts him for membership the year after he graduates, when he's 22. He travels extensively throughout Europe, seeking out new elements, minerals, and collecting ore samples. He's in Paris during the French Revolution and is taken prisoner during the Napoleonic Wars, twice, once by each side of the conflict. Smithson is a wealthy man, having inherited a sizable fortune from his mother, the Hungerford side of the family. But he wants to be known for his finds rather than his fortune. He wants his name to be associated with discovery. He is the first person to separate zinc carbonate and zinc silicate, previously believed to be one ore. Smithson proves that they are two distinct minerals. Zinc carbonate is later named Smithsonite in his honor. But he doesn't limit his studies. His curious mind leads him to study a wide variety of natural phenomenon. He examines the venom of snakes, the manufacture of brass, the chemistry of volcanoes, the makeup of human tears, the fundamentals of electricity, and how to make a better cup of coffee. In his career, he publishes 27 papers, stating his philosophy in one of his last papers, writing, quote, "It is in his knowledge that man has found his greatness and his happiness. No ignorance is probably without loss to him." James Smithson never marries and never has any children. In 1826, he prepares a will, leaving his entire wealth and all of his possessions to his nephew, the son of his half-brother on his mother's side. The will has a few stipulations. In order to inherit, his nephew, Henry James Dickinson, will have to change his name to Henry James Hungerford. It is the Hungerford fortune he stands to inherit. The other stipulation is that if his nephew has no children of his own by the time the nephew dies, the entire fortune is to be donated to the United States for the formation of an educational institution. James Smithson passes away on this day in 1829. His nephew Henry Hungerford passes away 6 years later in June of 1835, having produced no heirs. It is at that point that the following stipulation in Smithson's will goes into effect, quote, "I then bequeath the whole of my property to the United States of America to found at Washington under the name of the Smithsonian Institution an establishment for the increase and diffusion of knowledge." There's much speculation as to why he chooses to make his bequest to the United States. The most likely explanation has to do with his illegitimate birth. He is born of Hugh Percy, the first Duke of Northumberland, yet he is deprived of hereditary titles, which is fine by him. He'd rather make his name through scientific innovation and accomplishment. He writes, quote, "The best blood of England flows in my veins. On my father's side I am a Northumberland. On my mother's side I am related to kings. But this avails me not. My name shall live in the memory of man when the titles of the Northumberlands and Percys are extinct and forgotten." Smithson travels far and wide in his 64 years, but he never sets foot in America. Yet he chooses the United States as the place to make his name, to leave his legacy. A new country that is itself a great experiment in the science of democracy, one with endless possibilities and outcomes. His bequest leads to the creation of the National Museum of the United States, the Smithsonian Institution, now a collection of 19 museums and one zoo, containing 138 million specimens and objects, visited by 27 million curious minds every year. Established in 1846 with the founding donation from James Smithson, who passes away on this day in 1829. There are 187 days left in the year.